very own Daniel Holliday, who's from Agnes Scott College. She's a student here, was born and raised in Atlanta. She has written numerous poems about the injustices of African Americans, about the injustices African Americans have faced over the years before and during her time. She strives to create something that's worth being read and heard, something that won't get old or be redundantly reduced, reused, and recycled. Danielle has carved her flow, she says, from the hardest rock known to man into a rhythmic narrative flow for all to sing along to, something that's easily digestible and enchanting to hear, that clouds one's sight into believing they saw it. In philosophy, chains may bind you to society, but chains are meant to be broken. Very privileged to have Daniel Holliday come and present the poems for us. Daniel Holliday.
A memory, a link between me and the past, the last breath gasp, the cries of babes to jingling chains, propped up in shame to this very day. A past, a present, and the thought of the future, destined to repeat this ugly blooper. A blinding shrine for those with pride, glamorizing the blind while taking over the mind. What is a memory without its enemy? Villainy, liberty, tyranny, identity. It's nothing but the epitome of hypocrisy. An invisible ball and chain. How can you know when you're running low on breath, on land, on ice below? Look out for the ball that flies, burying itself in your throat of lies that's shielded by pride. The jingles in the distance that put me in a trance are fighting in resistance against the world's silence. I am as far as the eye can see from the words that be with little to no equality. How can there be a me with this heavy chain surrounding me with its dark energy? Old stones remain in the tomb. Oh, old stones should remain in the tomb. I am at a standoff with the law, laws that have restrained and defamed my family's name in vain, prosecuted to the highest degree before justice relinquishes me. The lack of equality induces inequalities among my own people. We bicker and create divisions, secluding ourselves. They broke our spirits in the family structures that crumbles to dust in the lives of another killed by our brothers because of the weapons thrown in our hands that we thought was a blessing. The systems that keep us at bay never seem to age to the few laws that kept us safe started to decay instead of procreate. The greats fought and died for these laws. If they died too, then what was the cause? Mayday as the ships sail away. Pulled by the bootstraps that have taunted me, the lucid dreaming as I'm screaming renders me a futile infestation. The parasite eats me alive, daring me to hide. It wonders how far I'll go till I bend and break, inevitably making the boat shake. Hooray, there is debt to pay. The body you've stolen, trying to cheat me out of my sanity, wailing about the debt you owe. You've cheated me as you try to escape, begging and pleading away for the grace you never gave.
Thank you very much, Danielle. And now I'm going to call upon Taylor Johnson, who's a senior at Agnes Scott, who's majoring in creative writing with a minor in film studies. She's grown up in Georgia and enjoys spending her time exploring the world around her. Personal experiences combined with themes of spirituality, philosophy, and fantasy influence her writing. Taylor hopes to publish first book of poetry very soon. Taylor Johnson, we're very pleased to have you here. It's delightful that you are able to share your poems with us. Please come in and present your poems. Here you are.
This first poem is called Claymation. I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes, I see.
Oh, okay. Thank you. This first poem is called Claymation. If I am created from dirt, I ask that you cut me open, and as soil seeps from skin, mold me back into earth. Hands create me. Your hands create and shape me. a statue of Pygmalion's creation. Pray over me. Flowers bloom as vein turns to root. The ground sings Gaia's song, humming a sweet low tune that only repeats. Oh, should I reread it?
No, if you want to read it again, that's fine. Do raise it.
Okay, thank you. Should I reread it? Okay, I'll reread that one because I didn't talk loud enough. I'm sorry. But this one is called Claymation. If I am created from dirt, I ask that you cut me open, and as soil seeps from skin, mold me back into earth. Your hands create and shape me, a statue of Pygmalion's creation. Pray over me. Flowers bloom as vein turns to root. The ground sings Gaia's song, humming a sweet low tune that only repeats, I am you. My second one is called Ashdown Forest. Honey mustard grass and brazen broken leaves. Hurry, come quick, the bewitching bird sings. The fractal trees embedded with the same fingerprint as me dance with melancholy as the wind flows like the sea. I hear the buzz, buzz, buzz of the bees sending kisses as my heart beats honey, sweet enough for the taste of Winnie the Pooh, who Piglet tells me was robbing the sun in order to spread its warmth. Icarus's feathers fall from the sky, pleading to be remembered by the woeful souls of the imaginary, interconnected through the cluster of consciousness that congregate daily with the fairies in Ashdown Forest.
Thank you so much, Taylor, for your beautiful poems, and thank you for making time to share them here with us. We are going to move on now to a long way, Pakistan again, and we have Sufia Humayun, also going by the name of Sophia Hayyat. Sophia, are you there? Right, let me introduce you.
Yes,
and
I can.
and then we will move on from there. Sufia Humayun is an academic and a published writer. Her short stories, essays, research paper, and poetry has been published on different websites and journals. Her published works include The List in the Brain, Escapade, The Lahore Canal, Bank Road, Bakra Eid with Frozen Bakra, The Plucked Mulberries, and Malka, Not the Queen, and First Drop of Monsoon Rain, and so on. I will let her share her poems straight away. Invite her to please take the mic and share the poems with us. Go ahead, Sufia.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Yes, I'm gonna read the Lahore Canal Bank Road. It's based on my personal experience of traveling by foot. Every day I travel to my college and I see that spring dry leaves, dust and flower in the wind. Swishing wind of May that comes like gale at night, leaving without a trace for the day. When streaks flicker as the wind betrays, on the water moving statically. The trees shower leaves on both sides of water in a way distance varies. There's no her, Magnolia, June, and diamond stakings. Murky purple is the bank which has tooths and washed on as pigs are fed, fattening the road. Sun sucks the water from tiny hollow frames and walls. The boy is afraid for night to dive the waters of Lahore Canal, waters which look more like Lahori tea. It ribs stinging to the skin, hunger sucks the stomach in, a set of style bound here, careless and clueless. The dolphins of the summer show feet, holding back swimming as the road floods with each move. They ingest the cool of the muddy waters amid dry taps, deceptive clouds, and lurking clouds. I see the sherbet wala Suffs the breeze under the shade, displaying the Mufani Satu Jamishiri in a big transparent flask. So lined up in assembly, the ice floats too with the Humalanta. The air-conditioning cars flies slurping in disposable bottles. The lean swimmers play, jump off the current, satiating on laughter, screams, and spores at its best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Safia, for participating. I'm sorry to say, but your voice was breaking up badly. I don't know if it was the audio on your side or what. So if you would want to check that and make sure that it is working properly, there might be a possibility of calling you back so that you can read the
Yeah,
point
it's
again,
working
so
perfectly
I
on
can
my
hear.
as far
Sorry?
as I can hear your voice quite
Yeah,
clearly.
but your voice is breaking up.
It
I
could
think it's
be
the audio
because of
at your end
perhaps
that is
bad
not
internet issue.
functioning. I would now move on to our next poet, and that is Maham Fatima. Is Maham Fatima here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Maham Fatima, let me introduce you. She's from Pakistan and is currently pursuing her MPhil in English literature at Cairn College for Women University, Lahore. We are very privileged to have you, Maham Fatima. Please present your poems. Thank you.
All right. Hello, everybody. Firstly, I would like to thank Sarvakas Khwaja for organizing such a beautiful event and for making me a part of it. And I'm going to recite a poem that I wrote yesterday. And it is basically about a recent event, a recent trip that I took to a hill station in Pakistan. And this trip is quite significant for me because it gave me a much needed break from my mundane routine and a vicious cycle of my life. So, the title of this poem is The Hills Have Eyes. I hope you all will enjoy it. The hills have eyes. When I say the hills have eyes, I mean they not only see you, but they see right through you. The burdens you bear, the deadlines that are near, the silence you crave, the memories you wish to make. Just like the moon, the hills stand still and tall, celebrating our highs and mourning our downfall. The hills of Ayubia recently invited me to bear witness to their splendor. My new job has been keeping me from all the fun, robbing me of my free-spirited demeanor. I accepted this invitation reluctantly as my days are pre-planned and my nights quite uncertain. My heart swells with joy when I reminisce my much needed vacation. The organic aroma of the leaves, the wrinkly texture of the bent trees, resembling a wrinkled old man bent down before his maker, narrating a tale of humility. The music of nature, challenging my travel playlist and making it sound like noise. The horses in the fields galloping with a certain grace and poise. But most of all, the hills gripped my mind, heart, and my soul. They darkened the road ahead, but the very next moment lit up everything from pole to pole. Now I am leaving a piece of my heart behind, leaving for a fast-paced city life and a daily grind, taking with me a suitcase full of memories, leaving only footprints behind. I'm leaving for a job I have to keep, but now I can do it with much ease because now I am inspired by the hills that have eyes, the hills that stand firmly wired, withstanding the seething sun and the piercing chill of the night. The hills urge me to let my dreams take flight and never to let life get in the way of living. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate both your being there and for presenting this beautiful poem, Maham Fatima. Glad that you were able to share this poem with us. We're going to move on to our next poet, and this is going to be an in-person reading from Lynn Farmer. Lynn Farmer's poetry has been featured at readings in Teaneck, New Jersey, and Philadelphia, as well as at Callenmold, Emory University of Georgia, and elsewhere. She has won the Byron Reese Award and the Chattahoochee Valley Prize, as well as the Warren Prize from the Academy of American Poets. Her work has appeared in journals such as Red Mountain Rendezvous, Snake Nation Review, Poets, Artists, and Madmen. Lynn's collection, The Rare Persistent Light, winner of the Charles Dickens Chapbook Award, was published in 2012. Lynn has been a career high school English teacher and is also a photographer and singer, and I should add, a dear friend. Please, Lynn Farmer, would you come to the rostrum and present your poem?
I'd like to thank Agnes Scott and Marcus, of course, for sponsoring this wonderful event for so many years, and we can meet our international friends as well and hear their wonderful poetry. I want to read two poems. The first is July 3rd's Grace. On my grandmother's birthday this year, she turned 115. She dropped by as she often does, the 2-year-old who lost her mother, the girl who took her offering to the nomads in the woods, the teen who ran off to Granny Comer in Kentucky and later broke her leg in a motorcycle sidecar crash when she was supposed to be spending the night with a friend, the 1927 bride wearing a ring engraved with their initials. She looked up at me with that smile, my grandmother, who was still writing poetry at 99. On this birthday, we carried our leather Avon lady satchels full of sandwiches, trinkets, and toys. And for our celebration, we took a hot meal to a family down Silver Place, just past the worn-out store where the metal Marita bread sign banged in red and yellow against the wailing wood screen door. We drank grape Kool-Aid from red plastic cups and sat in sweet grass there on Irwin Street, amid white-flowered bee bushes and pink petunias falling from the cracked stone planters propping up the steps. And then we took the 2-lane road to the Smokies and found again the sad-eyed spotted horse looking eager to ride. We each slipped in our rarest silver dimes to help him run. And when we got where we were going, there by the coursing creek, we laid a quilt down, stitched with parading bonnet girls in many colors. We wrote some earnest rhyming verses for our friends, breathed truly from the mountain air, and then, for joy alone, we opened wide one treasured, wondrous, life-bound book after another. This next poem is called Nathan Walks. My father stayed up nights like he always had for at least a year after he died. He trudged across the rugged floor till Shannon heard and looked for Dephy, but found her sleeping well. Yet still, he knew the old spice winding through the oak and maple dust. Nothing was awake in that expanse except the lingering memory of a hearty laugh, a rough hand that had smoothed the untamed wood. One day, when everyone besides was gone, he came and sat down near a lamp and donned his Woolworth glasses to cut a Reagan cartoon or some words about a dig. and hearing someone at the door, he fled the stairs he'd fallen down before, and at the bottom found what of himself he'd lost when legs and grip had failed and all of him had tumbled over self right to the floor. And in that moment's hesitation, he looked back up the steps and past the face, back to another day, an earlier surprise, a more innocent love. Then he was gone again. His house was sold last August and everything familiar scattered wide. So now I wonder where he walks at night, or where he finds an empty chair to rest, or where he now with care descends a narrow stair to settle in a wood shop of his own. Perhaps he makes his way by silver moon down Irwin Street beside that shadow of himself. Or maybe he bursts forth a young Shields Watkins star, volunteering as the hero of a play he never made. He could be tracing steps on the deck of that old minesweeper and following a cold moon finally home. I've looked for him to lean from behind an antique piece with sawdust on his brows, and I've peeked into that room where he last looked for me, knowing that his breath was nearly gone. I vainly searched between the shade and sun, where Our Lady's brilliant colors bloom, to find that crusty, bearding gentleman, that shy but winking sailor, or that grinning youngster posing with his puppy on the lawn. Riding down North Decatur, the Monday before Christmas, I saw him driving a light blue Dodge, but by the time I blinked, he had vanished. So I have never welcomed to my heart that void of the final glimpse of death. But though his strength moves with me through the dark, I cannot reach his hand or hear his breath. And I have never heard him walk at night, when memories wake and sleep's not what it seems. And I have never caught him wholly here, but still I hold some pieces of his dreams. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Lynn. Really appreciate your participation and the sharing of those really beautiful poems. We move on now to David Dephy. David, you're there, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. He's an American award-winning poet and novelist, the founder of Poetry Orchestra, the finalist of the American Book Fest 2023 in the category of poetry, narrative, and author of full-length poetry collection Eastern Star, published by Adelaide Books, and another, A Double Meaning, also published by Adelaide Books. Very interestingly, his poem A Sense of Purpose is going to, I think it must be A Sense of Purpose, is going to the moon. You can correct me, please, David, on that. His poem, A Sense of Purpose, is going to the moon in 2024 by the Lunar Codex, NASA, SpaceX, and Poetry on Brick Street. I would want to welcome David very cordially, very warmly, to present his poems for us today.
Thank you,
David,
Mr. Bucks. I'm deeply honored to be here. Thank you. Yes, I'm going to share with you this work, which is going to the moon by NASA. It's called A Sense of Purpose. That's right. The clouds above you form as the moon rises. You try to give them a sense of purpose. You know that the messenger with the bad news won't come tomorrow. There is no bad news after there's stillness in the world anymore, but emptiness. The lights in the windows not faded away yet, but breathing. And the smile of stars children shine. They can smell the wind more than pets. As you know, they prowl the streets, and the smell of the wind will color them gold. The storms displaced the world without washing us away. A few centuries pass. The air fills with the same sound, with the same smell and memories. The sun, love of our life. And the front yard, we see some familiar faces again. And the lilac is studded with race. The world is lost, but we are young again. We try to win our life back. We say, thank you, past, for lessons. We're ready. Ready for future. That is the point of breathing. Many have gone forever. As in old news, saying a few messages. We don't remember. Language, the spirit of silence. Each word, the heart of silence. Without hearts, we are sightless, with fingers searching for a race. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. Really appreciate. Again, I'm
Yep.
very glad that you were able to come and share your poem with us, as you did last year as well. So thanks.